Hello and welcome to Love in the Time of Hydra, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 10th anniversary podcast. I am Jamie Jirak, and I am here to tell you about what happened on this day 10 years ago, May 6th, 2014. I don't need to tell you that Happy by Pharrell was the number one song in the US. I feel like it's never going to end, the love for that song 10 years ago. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the number one movie at the box office, which is interesting because I believe it will be back at the box office next week. Monica Lewinsky released a book detailing her affair with Clinton, and Office Depot announced it was closing 400 stores. George Clooney turned 53, and Adrian Palicki, who some of you who aren't Tony know very well, turned 31. But the most important thing that happened on this day 10 years ago was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s 21st episode, Ragtag, aired on ABC at 8/7 Central. I am here with my co-host, boyfriend, and level 1 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, Tony Paletto. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jamie, and hi, everybody who's watching and listening. Agent Ward's a piece of shit. Let's do the show.
I'm very excited to introduce our guest today. He is the co-host and producer of an excellent podcast you may have heard of called Phase Zero. He is an up-and-coming dynamite wrestler and the lovable face of comicbook.com. Brandon Davis is in the house.
What best entrance of my life. Oh my God.
We treat our guests good here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez. Is that Pat? Okay. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Tony. What's up, guys?
Welcome, man. Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. I felt that 2 podcasts with you a week wasn't enough. We needed to get 3 on the books.
And now I'm happy getting on if you feel like a podcast with you. Because I'm happy. Wait, that was 10 years ago. Oops.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Because he's doing a new song for Despicable Me 4. So in 10 years from now, we can talk about that.
We're not as happy. Wait, what?
Not as happy.
The chat is so excited that you're here. And before we address them, BD, you know how the chats work. You know how StreamYard works. But before we get into that, BD, we like to kick off our show by asking our guests what they were doing 10 years ago. Do you know what you were up to 10 years ago?
I'll tell you right now, S.H.I.E.L.D. aired on Tuesday nights. I was every Tuesday on this day 10 years ago. I was preparing to be late to my job, working the door at the Village Idiot Bar in Columbia, South Carolina, because S.H.I.E.L.D. also didn't air until 9 p.m. So my shift started at 10 p.m., and I would always leave leave my house at 10 because I'd watch S.H.I.E.L.D. first. And then I'd go over there. But they were only paying me $40 a night, so like I could be 10 minutes late. That was okay.
Yeah. A night? Yeah. Wow.
22 $20 bills at the end of the night. Yeah, that was it.
Well, you made the right call. Holy
it was
shit.
enough to get some Bojangles at the time.
Ooh, nice.
To be fair, it's more than you're getting paid to be on this podcast, so we thank you. I also, everyone who's here live, you know that it is actually secretly May 5th, so in honor of Cinco de Mayo, Tony and I are drinking some tequila. So cheers to all of you.
Sorry, we didn't send you a memo, Brandon. This is the last minute. There it goes. Yeah.
I did text.
No, I got the margarita PR package from the podcast. It's just I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, all right. We can't all be drinking on a Sunday night. So that was Tony made me. I don't really drink tequila, so that was a swash in my mouth I wasn't expecting. But
you're welcome.
Tony, please. I know that we have a major Phase Zero crossover in the chat today, so some of these people might not know the rules. Tell them the rules. What's going on?
Yeah. So, guys, all you have to do in the chat is if you're going to say something regarding anything happening after this episode, just write spoiler alert. And I'm not in the chat, but there may be people like me, hopefully, who are watching the show for the first time, episode by episode, once a week on its anniversary. So spare them any spoilery stuff by tagging spoiler alert. Normally, this is when I tell you that our producer, Maria, will find you and stab you if you spoil anything. But Maria is not with us today. Jamie is doing double duty as lead host and producer. And Jamie, I also know, is a very sweet person. So, but don't spoil anything anyway. She's not going to stab you, but please just don't spoil things.
I'll take it the other direction. I'll start crying, and no one wants to see that.
Yeah, if you spoil anything, Jamie will cry, and then I'll cry, and then Brandon might cry, and then the show's ruined. So please don't.
You don't. Yeah.
Wow. Well, speaking of people who don't want to be spoiled, BD, we got to talk a little bit about your Shield history because 10 years
we?
ago, yeah, everyone who listens to Phase Zero knows that you are not the world's like most knowledgeable Agents of Shield fan.
What?
It's definitely not secret. I know. And so before we like really dive in to everything, you watched Ragtag, I assume.
I did. I just
Okay.
finished it 15 minutes ago.
Great. Did it
Good.
did it spark? Did it make you want to go back? Did it make you interested in continuing where you haven't seen before?
No, it did. It's not that I'm not a Shield fan. It's just that I fell off the wagon of Shield. Like, it's not that okay. No, I have to say I'm not a Shield fan because I never watched every episode, and I certainly never finished the show. I know a lot of the stuff, like some, not really off the top of my head, but there was so much stuff where I checked back in because I always wanted to watch it, and I was just bad at watching TV. And especially like I fell off because junior, senior year of college, I was just really bad at watching TV. So yes, to answer your question, it did make me want to watch more of this. Like this was so long ago. I have not watched this since it aired, and I don't really think I watched beyond season one. Like I never watched another season in its entirety beyond season one. So watching this felt almost like I was watching it for the first time again because I genuinely just forgot most of this stuff. Like I knew Grant Ward, I knew this like the basic stuff of like the overarching story, like the key points, but the details of it and all this stuff, like it was like, wait, I forgot all of this. So yeah, it made me want to go watch it, and also just like the cheesy little lines too, like the good stuff, but also the cheesy little lines. I was like, wow, TV 10 years ago, like this, you don't get this on streaming. This sort of
special.
Yeah, it's like TV quality is not an insult. You know what I mean? Like it feels
Yeah.
like TV. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's network television, and we talk about that all the time. I hope that it makes you continue to watch just because we want you to be on the show in the future, but we don't want you to be so lost.
I did not. I'll say this. I didn't watch the other 20 episodes leading up to this one to prepare for today's podcast. I did watch previously on, though.
That's cool. All you need. Like that's the beauty of network TV. I'm sure you weren't super confused. I'm sure you followed along just fine.
Yeah, 100%. I was good.
Mm-hmm. So before we dive into the episode, just a quick synopsis of the business. Ragtag was written by my boy Jeffrey Bell, who I cannot mention without bringing up his contribution to, wait for it, Angel, take a drink.
Drink.
BD on the show, if we mention Buffy or Angel, we take a drink. So Jeffrey Bell previously wrote 084 I Spy in Tahiti, and he's going to be around on the show all through the series finale. So we're going to hear his name a lot. So there'll be lots of drinking throughout the next 6 years because we're done almost with year one. The episode was directed by Roxanne Dawson. She previously directed I Spy. We, of course, have our core cast. And Tony, are your headphones in?
Yes.
I can hear myself.
Wait.
BD, do you not have headphones?
Hold on, let me just.
I don't. I can lower this or something if that's.
No, I think it's. I think it might be.
Yeah, there's some reverb. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna
mark this time. That's the beauty of the live show. Mark a time, 9:10. Sorry, Marie, you're gonna have some work to do on your vacation. All right.
Mm-hmm. Am I causing an echo?
Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have headphones? Can you put headphones in?
I don't have any wired headphones.
I think with your, I don't hear it now, so it's fine. I think we're good.
Okay.
We'll keep on keeping on. Yeah, I'm just gonna mark the time.
I think if I just lower the volume and keep this microphone far away from the speakers, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
hopefully.
This is the excitement of being a part of the live chat. All right, so episode synopsis. Now that everyone knows the truth about Ward, Coulson's team devises a new plan to take down Hydra. Meanwhile, Ward's past and present intertwine as he grapples with the identity of a Nazi, because we all know he's just a Nazi, as Guy says in the last episode. The episode features all our favorites are back. Jagus Richards as Deathlock, Bill Paxton as John Garrett, BJ Britt as Trip, Ruth Nega as Raina, David Connor as Ian Quinn, and appearing for the first time, and let me tell you, I hope the last time, Austin Lyon as Teen Grant Ward. It's not that he's a bad actor, it's that I just don't give a shit about young Grant Ward.
Preach.
We can get real on this show. Sorry, buddy. R.I.P. But BD, just what are your initial thoughts on this episode? Kind of like we do on that other podcast. feelings overall?
This felt like a really good like penultimate episode for a season. Like it just sets up a season finale really, really nicely. It checked in with all the characters really nicely. Like as somebody who has not been up to like Agents of Shield knowledge in about a decade, other than what I've seen in the news and the episodes I've checked in on, it was very easy to watch this episode, see, okay, this is where they're at. Wow, okay, so Ragtag, they're forming a group here. They're not being Shield agents anymore. They're basically vigilantes. They're going out. It really just all the characters are written really consistently and really nicely, and it just shows you where that. And also, I like just May kicks ass several times, and that's always fun. It's just it was a good episode that clearly sets it up because it's like, okay, there's a finale next. This really tells you where the finale has to go, or the direction it has to go. Clearly, you're about to get a cliffhanger when that happens. And it made me want to watch the finale.
Cool. I hope that you do. Tony, what were your thoughts and feelings? You had a lot of verbal moments when we were watching the episode because BD, we don't talk about it, but like sometimes Tony can't help himself but have commentary.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta yap at the screen.
I yapped at the screen a good amount on this one. I don't know if you know this, BD, but historically, over the past 20 episodes, it's been alluded to that I do not like Grant Ward. I think he sucks, and and then I thought he sucked before he was Hydra, and now he extra sucks. So, all right, this ranked pretty low on my ranking list. This is number 15 out of 21, above I Spy, below Seeds. Now, interestingly, though, you said this is a Jeffrey Bell written episode, and he did Ragtag, I Spy, and 084. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Jamie?
And Tahiti.
Those are all three together. And Tahiti. Okay, yeah. So Ragtag, I Spy, and 084 are all together, ranked 15, 16, and 17 on my ranking. And Tahiti's at number 4 because that's a really great one. But yeah, I didn't love it. It's a really funny episode. Like there's some of the better like comic moments of this season, I think, are in this episode. But you start a show being like, how did Grant Ward become Grant Ward? And I'm like, fuck right off. I don't give a shit. And I'm watching this happen in front of my eyes and being just like grotesquely disappointed. And then I'm like, okay, but no, like, I want to see what they do with it. Like, because the show surprises me a lot. And it was just very basic, formulaic, how a guy became a guy, and I at no point was like, oh, interesting take, or like that was a neat move. I just kind of patiently like watched a little Grant Ward origin story and didn't really care for it, but I liked everything else on either side of that.
Listen, as somebody who feels seen when Brett Dalton is on screen, because I like to tell myself that I look a little bit like him because he's so damn handsome, but I know he's just way leagues above me. But with the brown hair and brown eyes, I'm like, hey man, same. I gotta at least give him a little bit of love. Are you? So you hate Grant Ward so much
because he's hot?
Listen, come on, look at those cheekbones, bro. All of us are just like, come on now.
BD, you're not the first guest on to come on this pod and talk about how hot Brett Dalton is. Like,
and look at his initials.
Yeah.
BD. Uh-oh. I see. You found
I got it. So maybe Grant Ward fans are a spectrum, and if you have the same initials as the actor and love his cheekbones, you are where I am. And if you don't, then he sucks. So everyone seems to probably hate Grant Ward. Then, man, I didn't know you were that much of a. That's fair. I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. It's only gotten worse. It started as a seed and has grown into a tree of contempt. Yeah. No, Brett Dalton is a really excellent actor, and he nails this character. And also Jamie and I did a Patreon where we watched him do a really bad Hallmark Christmas movie, and like that was like an impossible movie to execute, and I could see that dude busting his ass to try and make dialogue work. That was absolutely absurd. So no, respect to Brett Dalton. Grant Ward sucks. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, because I have the same kind of two sides of the coin take on this episode, because I also don't really like the Ward flashbacks until the end when it's like the dog represents Fitzsimmons, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I like that part.
But the other, Yeah, the other bits of the episode, though, I love, like you said, I love how funny this episode is. This episode has the best visual gag of the series, which is when they do the file transfer and push the filing cabinet out of the window. I think that's fucking hilarious.
It was so good. Yeah.
Big old download.
Large transfer. Yeah.
Large transfer.
So I do like this episode, but I haven't done my ranking, but it wouldn't rank high for me either. But I do really like it. I mean, for a penultimate episode, it's getting us along, and we should just like dive in to talk about this episode. You guys, with my rundowns, I've been getting lazier and lazier each week. Now I just copy and paste the notes I take during the episode.
Now you understand where I'm at 4 years into phase 0.
I know. I do really
work smart, not hard.
all that BD does. It's been eye-opening how much it takes to just schedule and get a podcast ready. We love
4 years.
Yeah, I thought those rundowns wrote themselves. Weird, crazy.
Every once in a while, I'll wake up and like Peter or Aaron or Jenna sometimes will throw stuff in there. Jamie says sometimes will throw stuff in there. Aaron has surprised me and filled them. And I'm just anyway. That's all. That's some behind the scenes off topic. But rundowns suck. Like they're not fun at all.
No, and the thing is, like Tony can't do them because he doesn't know what's happening.
Oh yeah,
so,
right.
We cannot share the load. It has to be me.
Yeah, these are all you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I can do the Patreon
good work.
episodes that are unaffiliated, but yeah, it's all Jamie.
Wow.
Snowbat in the comments. The tequila. Wow. I swear I've had 3 sips. That was not a tequila thing, but it was about the tequila kicking in. Oh God. All right. Okay. We're restarting. The scene opening scene. Ward's in juvie. It's like 15
I mean, what did I
years
say?
ago.
Did I just go, Jesus Christ? Like as soon as this episode starts?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He was not happy. And then I will say this is like Tony did say out loud, like good casting. Like this kid does look like Brett Dalton. I don't know like how he turned into him overnight in the woods, but we'll get to that. We learned a lot here. We learned that Ward burned down his house. His brother was inside. He claims he didn't know. And Garrett gives him this one-time offer: stay in juvie or come work for me. And then as soon as he says yes, the SHIELD SWAT team comes in. They take him, and that's how we learn. And then Garrett gives him the advice: don't trust anybody ever, especially me. BD, when this opening started, were you so lost? Did you have some idea of what was going on?
I had an idea of what was going on. I thought, hey, good job on you, Bill Paxton, for delivering these lines with such conviction, because they were kind of basic. Like the don't trust anyone, especially me. He puts his hands on the table. He gets real calm. He's like, it's going to be really hard, but it'll be fun. And stuff like that. I really didn't even remember Grant's origin story. It's been so long since I watched this. I was like, oh, that's right. But the brother inside thing was a nice little like, does he have a little dark side? Did he know? But then I think later in the episode kind of really proves which way he goes on that. Because he's a complex, layered, very interesting character, right?
You heard it here, BD, #1 Ward fan.
Oh boy, it's so complex and interesting. Yes, I just thought, I agree. I mean, just Paxton just really knows how to relish a scene, regardless of how elevated the writing is. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it pop. It's a pretty decent opening. I do really like when the SWAT team comes in, and I just like any time where a really surprising exhibition of power comes flying into the scene. That was really awesome to see Bill Paxton have fun with that.
Yeah, and then we get to the poor team. They're assembling in the motel.
Study group.
They've got their pathetic paperboard chart and it was like connecting everything. Did that help you, BD, when they're like, and this happened in here? Were you kind of grateful for that?
There's no way.
Are we allowed to curse?
Anybody.
Are we allowed to curse on this show?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Not at fucking all.
Yeah.
That did not help me at all.
That is
No,
not a
I
good
it did.
recap.
It certainly gave me like, that I remember that. Okay, yes, I guess in that regard, but it didn't help me in the placement of this episode at all,
Mhm.
not even a little bit. Kind of reminded me of like trying to make a YouTube video for comic book. It's like, oh wait, here's this thing. I got to make this make sense. Yeah,
It's the
Yeah.
Charlie meme. And
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
they've decided Sky put a Trojan horse in the tech, but they got to go to the cybertech office. They have that cute moment where Fitz is like, "We're vigilantes." Coulson just wants his plane back, and poor fucking Fitz is still making excuses for Ward. This poor
No.
sweet
Why?
boy.
He's a good boy,
He's the
He is a good
goodest
boy.
of good boys.
the
Oh, I
goodest
feel so
boy.
bad for him.
He's just
He
Yeah.
like a
makes me
little
really sad.
dog that was once friendly to Grant Ward.
It's
Yeah.
just a dog. Oh, and then while in their planning, Trip whips out all this old Howling Commando spy tech. Coulson's geeking
Fun shit.
out. It's super cute. Tony. So there's a thing that Tony and I, every time anything mentions an EMP, they usually immediately explain that it's an electromagnetic pulse. So Tony and I looked at each other, but they didn't explain it. At this
Yeah.
in episode 21,
How am I supposed to know?
Shield now trusts that we know what an EMP is.
It's one of my favorite things. Somebody says EMP, and another person goes EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and I really want to like account how many times that's been said in the movie because it delights me. We know now. I like that Agent of Shield knows that we know.
Mhm. They have explained it in the past, I'm pretty sure, but now we've moved beyond that. BD,
Yeah.
what did you think about this Howling Commando connection? Because obviously, like, you may not be a huge Shield fan, but you're the biggest MCU greater fan.
Yeah, if I thought it was cool. I mean, it was obviously a moment where I was like, oh, this is like when they were trying to make like Marvel TV and Marvel Studios were still trying to like Marvel TV was still certainly trying to be part of the MCU while Marvel Studios had not yet been like, hey guys, stay in your corner over there. That's like a separate little thing. So that it was cool to like have that callback, Captain America and all that. It also just clear like it's clearly well written. Clark Gregg or Phil Coulson consistent. See, because he's the biggest Captain America fan, he would geek out over that stuff. And Clark Gregg does such a good job playing that part because like he plays it kind of like if one of us were presented with a bunch of movie props, we would identify everything in that box. We'd be like, oh my god, that's from this movie. Oh my god, that's this thing that guy used at that time. And he plays it just like it's so good. I think Clark is so good in this role for those things.
It's just you, BD, opening one of those fucking cool statues behind you. It's just one of those videos you make of just like
yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is 100%. Yeah. So Clark Gregg's Phil Coulson spirit animal right there.
Yes.
100%. All of us. Tony, did you have anything else about that spy business?
I thought that was so fucking cute. I laughed my ass off when him and Trip locked eyes and just like we both geeking out about this. Like it was precious. I really enjoyed this. The comedy beats in this episode are really on point.
Truly one of the, I think, funniest episodes maybe of the series. But it's not always a funny show, so it can get pretty sad. So we got the cybertech infiltration. Tony, I knew loved when Phil and May were pretending to be Fitzsimmons Theo Tittle.
Theo Tittle. And I'm sorry, did he forget what his character was for a second there and drop a kooky accent on one of his lines? Phil Coulson got really carried away in the undercover.
It's because Fitz was in his ear, so he just like adapted Fitz's accent accidentally.
That's what it was. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I just thought Clark Gregg got a little too excited about playing a professorial character and threw on the crazy accent. All right, that makes sense. Okay,
that
was a great scene.
It was so good. It's so funny. And May, I should say Ming as May, crushing that role too. Like she's the badass one, but you do remember she is still a spy and she knows how to be undercover.
She does, and she's smiling so much. And I was like, I haven't seen you smile in this show, not even close to like this. It was kind of entrancing, to be honest. I was like, you are just so beautiful. And yeah, I liked it a lot.
The most beautiful. And then we get the sleepy sleep gun joke, all that business. But then we have a little elevator tussle that we don't see. I liked that bit. If you know me, you know that I love an elevator scene. And it was a fun that we didn't see it. I liked that a lot about it. And then we get to see Maeve fucking destroy some kicks, some flips, right in that guy's face.
In the hallway.
Was a good scene. Yeah.
Mhm.
Black Widow Easter egg. If I was on Phase Zero, I'd be like, that reminded me of Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
you're allowed to say that here too, because they compare them often. They compare those characters.
Hashtag it's all connected.
Right.
Hashtag it's all connected. And
Depends
so
which
they're in
Marvel executive you ask.
Well, that's fucking true. They're either lying to BD's face or they just don't know.
I'm leaning towards the second one. Actually, no, but yeah, never mind. They both are true.
Yeah, it depends. It's like how Chris keeps interviewing Thomas Hayden Church, and he keeps saying there's a Spider-Man 4, and it's like there's not though.
He is. Thomas Hayden Church keeps saying that. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Like twice,
Yes,
at least twice, he's like pretty definitively like said, yeah, they're making Spider-Man 4, Sam and Toby, and then and then it's just like, no, Thomas, I don't think that's what you meant by that.
That's not what they're doing.
But you said it, so we have to put it the way you said it.
Thanks for it. We learn that Garrett was the original Deathlock going back to 1990. Shout out to those born in 1990.
Completely forgot that we got a glimpse of his metallic physique in a previous episode. Like, just totally forgot that they kind of sort of revealed that. Pretty cool detail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we get the amazing file transfer. And then they come down. They have like a Batman moment where May and Phil, well, first like Trip shoots up the thing and then they swoosh down. And it's all very fun and superhero-y.
Real good look at Phil Coulson stunt double in that scene. I enjoyed that very much.
I didn't notice, to be honest.
Yeah.
I never noticed.
Yeah. It's just a guy with like a pretty bad, like it's not obviously not a bald cap because Coulson does indeed have hair, but he's got like this sort of receding hairline wig on top of his head that is pretty funny. Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch that again. Meanwhile, gotta catch up with the bad guys. Ward's pissed at Garrett. Deathlock's mad at Raina. Raina's trying to replicate the drug. But what I love here in this is that Raina, she gives this, like, she's here for people with, like, she wants to know about people with gifts, waiting for what's inside to be revealed. What does that mean? She's, like, really prying about Skye, and she, like, asks Ward questions, and, like, he's so fucking stupid. He doesn't realize that he's just, like, being pumped for information.
Yeah, that was hysterical to me. I think I said out loud, well, that was easy. She's just like, I really shouldn't say anything. Never mind. He's like, wait, what? What are you saying? Like, what a chump.
It's pretty transparent Brandon, what was happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony, yeah. I know you don't like guessing, but do you have any idea what this is about? Do you have any thoughts or feelings?
What is about?
About what Rain is up to here. She talks about wanting to know about Skye. She talks about how her parents were supposedly monsters.
Yeah. That was a good little bit of additional information regarding her backstory. But the thing with Raina is, the thing that I'm keeping in mind is how disappointed she was, and how disappointed she is that the clairvoyant is not a supernatural entity, just a person with a really high clearance level, being Bill Paxton. And so she I think feels foolish or having been disillusioned by this idea. So, I mean, and even like Garrett says at one point, he's like, I don't like having her around. She gives me a bad vibe. Look at her eyes. Like, he can smell it, and like we can smell it. So she's like, she's up to something. And because she's the most, what's the word I'm looking for? She's the most influential character because of her ability to influence people. So she's got to play. I don't even know if she knows what it feels like.
B, did you remember like Raina at all because Ruth Negga is so great.
I forgot Ruth Negga was in the show.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it exciting when you remember that?
I saw her name in the credits and I was like, wait, that's right.
Went on to be an
She got
Oscar
a little bit
nominee.
famous,
You love
yeah.
to see it.
Legend.
Mm.
She was on Preacher, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's because I remember that I interviewed her for something, and I'm pretty sure it was Preacher, but that was a little bit after this.
Yeah. Because I was watching that when I lived in New York, so this was still my Chicago days.
Yeah, I worked at Comic Book when that was. I didn't start Comic Book till the very end of 2014. So,
Oh, so you're almost coming up on your 10 year.
January is 10 years of Comic Book, like a full time.
Wow.
So yeah, like
Oh,
I
wow.
started making videos for Comic Book at the end of 2014, and then full time started January 5th, 2015.
Crazy. Time goes by fast, doesn't it?
What? And speaking of time going by fast, before we get into Bill Paxton's fucking piss poor body falling apart on him, do you want to take a 30-second break?
Thank you, Tony. I would love to take a 30-second break. We'll be right back. Refill your drinks. You know the business. Welcome back to Love in the Time of Hydra. We are here with Brandon B.D. Davis talking about Ragtag. And this is the point of the show where we talk about these ward flashbacks. Tony just kept sighing.
Every time we got back into the fucking woods, I'm just like, and it's like that. It's that network TV thing where it's just kind of a sort of a muted sepia tone palette, and I'm just like, oh yeah, and like Bill Paxton's got a little bit more hair, and it's just nothing about this subplot. These flashbacks were especially interesting or surprising. It's like if you could ask me, like, how do you think Garrett trained Ward or found Ward or taught Ward to do X, Y, and Z? Like, I feel like this would be what I came up with. It's pretty first draft like concept. So yeah, it is what it is. I don't know.
Left him in the woods. BD, come on, defend your boy.
Best flashbacks I've seen since Lost. Oh my god!
I knew you would think so. Yeah.
BD mentioned Lost. That's a drink right there.
Oh sure.
I mean, they certainly could have done their own Revenant with Grant Ward if they wanted to make this like more interesting. But this is cable TV. We don't have that much time to really go dive into this. He certainly survived those 6 months very easily. His skin was very clear at the end of it. And by the time he got that SHIELD job, still just more better looking, despite living in the woods and eating chickens and stuff.
Yeah.
Very suddenly. Like that happened quick.
He aged like 15 years.
I just want to talk about that transition because it's not, movies do this all the time, right? Where it's like, all right, young actor into sort of dressed and made to look young current actor. But the fact that literally nothing about the setting, scenery, conversation, none of that had altered. It was like, it literally could have been the next day based on what they were talking about and how they were talking about it. That was, and where they were. I can't believe that they did the aging up like that. That was so funny. Why didn't they just keep the kid?
I don't know.
I agree, especially since he's like, okay, you got accepted to SHIELD Academy. He should have been at SHIELD Academy as the kid, not as chiseled man Grant Ward.
That felt like a move where they were afraid the audience would be confused if it wasn't him. But like, we just watched this whole episode, and like,
that'd be a pretty dopey audience. It was spoon.
I think the dog scene was the whole point of that whole flashback bit, which we'll get to. Yeah. But I think the entire purpose of those flashbacks was the dog and the parallel with what I predict is going to happen with Fitz. So I think that they wanted to have him there to really land the parallel and the like whatever the flashback storytelling. But yeah, it should have stayed the younger actor.
You're totally
Mm.
right. That's totally why they did it, but it's weird and but you know, it's fine. And then, of course, Garrett explains why he's Hydra. I wrote in my comments, blah, 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 because I just, like, yeah. But I would have loved to have seen Garrett and Ward, like, on some kind of cool mission or something where it's like life and death, and that's when he tells them the truth, or I don't know. But it all does come down to the dog, which we'll get to soon. But I do want to talk about the May and Sky scene, because May and Sky have this bonding moment. I have to say, I have a thing where I like to yell kiss at the screen, usually when the two characters are of the same gender. And Tony did that in this scene, and I did not like that. I do not want May to kiss.
No, I didn't.
That's
You
weird.
yell kiss. You're the one who yells kiss. I'm the one who, in that moment, I said, you guys should kiss about it. I had a little more to say. Sorry, it was an impulse, and you follow those impulses, and I thought it would be okay if I did once.
I feel like you might be the only person in the history of S.H.I.E.L.D. watching that shipped May and Sky in a moment. So
just
congratulations.
Okay.
The chat's freaking out about it.
Sorry, chat. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to lose my level 1 agent status. Sorry.
BD, I'm gonna guess
that's listen. I can't agree with you on that one.
Okay. I'll be over here by myself.
Listen, it's rare I don't want to see two women kiss each other, but it's just
in fairness, Tony, I rarely agree with the ships anyway. I'm usually just like, well, whenever people talk about shipping, I'm usually what?
No, yeah. I go ahead, finish your, because I'm not much of a shipper either. I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, every time somebody's like they should kiss, I'm just like, oh, this is my quiet part. This is where I get quiet.
I know on Phase Zero I make Brandon crazy because I'm constantly advocating for kissing, and sometimes Brandon just has to be like, "Here she goes again with her gay agenda."
Yep. And then the comment section lights up. Everybody in the comment section is like, "Woo, yeah, kiss," and I'm like, "No, okay, I don't really care. Let's move. What do we got next?"
Well, the comments did not light up for me today. I'll tell you that right now. I do not have Jamie's kiss talent.
That was a take.
No.
I gotta say, Professor X and Magneto make more sense to me.
Oh well, I mean that's obvious.
To me too.
There's no controversy there.
Yeah,
that's just a clear thing.
Yeah.
So okay, but we didn't even talk about the bonding. They're bonding over their hatred of Ward, and May is imparting wisdom on Sky, which I really like. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to mine it. I'm going to save it. And I wake up every morning at 5 in order to do that, as Sky called it, hate foo.
I wrote it down. I am furious, but I'm sure as hell not going to waste it on a tantrum. I like that very much. Mm-hmm. It's a great line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're good people. And then the Fitzsimmons mission. I like that the Fitzsimmons going off on their mission started with a good Fitz and Trip moment, because BD, you might not remember, but Fitz has been a little mean towards Trip. He doesn't really like that him and Gemma are close, so they've been having some rocky moments, but they're trying. Fitzsimmons goes on their mission. They find the bus. Coulson says not to engage, and they listen. They weren't going to engage, but Ward finds them anyway. Tony got mad. He was like, "Oh no, shit!"
Yeah. I was real frustrated about that, but also, I just from the beginning of that scene, I was like, they are not nearly far enough away from that airplane to be spying, and they're like just standing in a goddamn window. And then Coulson on the phone is like, get out of there right now. And I'm like, yeah, get out of there right now. And then they're like, oh, what are we just gonna let him go? And I'm like, get the fuck out of there. And so Grant Ward comes in there. I wasn't like shocked. I was just pissed off.
You idiots.
Yeah. At least they didn't go do it themselves, though, because like that would have sucked.
That's true. That's true.
And then this is where it all culminates. Fitz has the joke buzzer that's actually an EMP. It fucks up Garrett, and then Fitz is still trying. Bless him, Ward, let him die. Just Be our friend.
Fitz is willing to go to the fucking grave all the time, which I mean, and we've seen Gemma do some pretty selfless stuff too, but like anytime Fitz gets in trouble, he's instantly kind of like, fuck it, I'll die for Shield. Like he's so goddamn, he's so loyal. Like we said it, he's the goodest boy, and he really, really is.
Mm.
The EMP move was pretty clutch though, and he had a cheesy one-liner there because he was like, he said he's always joking around, Fitz, and he's like, frick, guess the joke's on you now. Bitch! It was great.
Great Fitz impression. I can't believe you didn't try to do the Scottish accent. I'm shocked.
No, I won't. No, I couldn't. I couldn't possibly. Don't tempt me.
Well, you know the crowd loves a BD accent. So,
oh god.
Do they? This is something I did not know. That's exciting.
Yes, I do way too many.
That's enough. That's
just a random. That's
that was just British. That was just, I don't know, Tom Holland came out for a second.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's true.
Getting off track. Listen, this is where it all comes down to he's got to shoot the dog. He doesn't shoot the dog, but then does he shoot the dog? They don't really 100% make it clear. I think he shoots the dog. BD, do you think he shoots the dog?
No, he didn't shoot the dog. He better not shot that dog. Grant Ward would never.
What did I say every time we went to the flashback? Because so Bill Paxton leaves him. He's like, all right, you can have Buddy, and leaves. He's like, I'll see you in a couple of weeks or whatever. Leaves him the dog. I instantly said Grant Ward's going to eat that fucking dog. Like I was not putting it back the whole time. I was like,
I never had that thought. I thought he would eat Bill Paxton before he would eat the dog.
I just feel like I've just been very angry at him retrospectively and common sense wise. They're not going to do something like this on that show. But every time they cut back to him struggling to survive or whatever, I was like, he ate that dog. So anyway,
can I shoot that dog?
Can I shoot that dog?
Can I shoot that dog?
Oh no!
I think he didn't shoot the dog. He shot up in the air. Doggy ran away, and that's a metaphor. Or if he did shoot the dog, he regrets it because he's got a heart and he's a very layered, complex, and interesting character. So therefore, he may have shot the dog, he regrets it, and therefore that direct reflection that we're seeing in this fantastically written episode, of course, is that when Fitzsimmons is in trouble, he says, "Oh, I did the wrong thing once before. Let me fix it this time and save these people who care about me, and I care about them." Or I'm just the same person I was deep down. I didn't shoot that dog. I'm not going to kill my friends. It's not a weakness, but I'll say it is. It was weird that he said it's a weakness when nobody was listening, which makes me wonder if my theories can be true. I don't remember what happened, but yeah. So, yeah.
We'll talk about it when Charlie leaves. Listen, shoot the dog, not shoot the dog. He dropped our best duo into the ocean. They have been dumped into the ocean, my precious babies. That's it. Some people, are they? I don't know. They're in the ocean in a box, Tony.
The thing has to float, right? They're not about to they're not doing a little underwater tour.
We're gonna science out of there somehow. I'm sorry, I'm not really worried about them. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But I think the choice is interesting because whether or not he shot the dog or not, he's at least exhibited that he has difficulty killing someone he's developed affection for up close, right? So this was a passive way of killing the dog. This was a passive way of killing Fitzsimmons. So, I like that they didn't show when we see last time we see the dog is in the scope, and I like that we didn't show the gunshot. It's a nice suspense device. I kind of like to believe that we'll see next episode that he actually gave them a way out. That something about that cargo hold thing that dropped into the ocean, they're gonna figure out it was actually more of a rescue than it was a murder. We'll see. But yeah, pretty dramatic move dropping them in the ocean.
I like that analysis, and to me it means that Grant Ward is complex and layered.
Wow.
I want to hear more adjectives about Grant Ward if you got it, because I've heard complex, layered, interesting, compelling, complex,
handsome,
Sure.
thoughtful.
No,
Troubled.
Well, okay, we're done. Troubled will give you.
Troubled is good. Yeah,
He was thoughtful to not kill them right there.
that was thoughtful, wasn't it?
It's very
There it
Dr.
is.
Evil of him.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that comparison.
Yeah.
So all right, so wrapping up the episode, Raina injects Garrett with the GH serum, and then of course Tony shouts extremis, because that's basically, you know, they've been doing a lot of extremis type stuff this season. I'm sure BD caught that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Done. And then they ask, what are you feeling? And he says, the universe. So I don't know what's going to happen with John Garrett, but I bet it's going to be crazy.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, thank you, Brandon Davis. I was wondering that myself.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Dude,
It's a very, I'll tell you, it's a very good Bill Paxton line, but I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. I've never heard anybody, you know, Coulson got the juice, Sky got the juice. No one's ever said anything about I feel the universe, so I don't know.
But it was injected right into his little business, and also like as the comments are pointing out,
I hate when
he
things
might
get injected right into my business.
He's just unhinged, I think, is what's happening. But I don't know. And then of course Coulson and them are in Cuba, and then they get bombarded with centipede soldiers, and then Tony said out loud, "How are they gonna get out of this one?"
And I meant it. I wasn't just being facetious. Like that's a hard situation to be in.
I hope it was in that exact voice.
Yeah.
No, dude.
I'm really
no
good at impressions,
Jamie
TV.
voice.
Just right before that Shield logo hit the screen for the last commercial break. How are they gonna get out of this one?
You 100% know that is just how Jamie talks.
Ooh. Anyway, moving on. End tag. Ian Quinn is in DC. He's trying to sell 1,000 super soldiers. Okay, BD, before I say this, I want to ask you, when they were Glenn Morsauer, the general, did you recognize him? General Jacobs?
He was in a lot of things as that same guy. I did. Wait.
Right.
No. I
No,
was just going to say, what did I just see recently?
Exactly. Because it's a movie you just watched for the first time. He was
he was in First Class.
In First Class.
Yeah. No, I remember
that
that.
feeling too. I was like, why do I feel like I know this guy from Marvel, but not this show? And it's because we just watched First Class. And I don't know if he comes. I think he's in another episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. But that like threw me for a loop, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he just plays military guy in
He has
loads of titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I did. I had that. And when I watched it, I remembered First Class. Or I didn't. I guess I didn't remember it was First Class, but I knew he was in the X-Men movies. When I saw that, and I wanted to say that, and I forgot to bring it up. So thank you.
That's why I do the rundown on this show, BD.
I'm such a bum today.
No, we love you, and we're so grateful you're here.
I'm useless.
Tony, do you have any other? No, you're useless.
No,
you
BD,
brought in a crowd. That's what we just want. We don't need anything from you.
I wish I had it in me to have margaritas tonight, but I would just fall over at this point after this weekend. But this show would have been all of it. I can't. It would have been something else.
You would have been one state.
Next time I come on, I'm gonna be partaking.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have any more thoughts. Yeah.
Great. So BD just declared he is going to keep up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so he can be back on the show.
He confirmed.
Yeah, he was exhausted enough to make that confession, and we're gonna hold him to it.
Yeah, great.
Shit.
Yeah, you're fucked.
BD, did you have any other like general thoughts about this episode?
I mean, go right back to what I said at the beginning of this. I've already seen the season 1 finale, but if you asked me to tell you what happens, I couldn't. Like, I just don't remember. I'm pretty sure it. I'll say this as vaguely. So this is not going to spoil anything, and I might even be way off the mark anyway. But I do think it ends with like a sort of reveal-y cliffhanger twist. I mean, I guess that's the most vague shit you could say anywhere about any show that's ever been on TV. But I don't want to say any more because I know Tony hasn't seen anything, so I don't want to even venture to like try to guess. But this episode did make me want to go, you know what? I want to press play on the next one. I want to see this and just remember this stuff and see where it goes. And it also made me want to go back and catch up on it too. Because I remember watching S.H.I.E.L.D. and always Tuesday nights just being excited to see new episodes of what was MCU, and it was a good show, and it was still, I mean, everybody who stuck with it loves it. So it did make me want to watch the finale. And Grant Ward was the victim here, and he needs to be saved. So somebody needs to help
Marie
this guy.
Was here, I would yell, "Clip it!" But she's not here.
He's been brainwashed. Save him. Sure. Hold on a second. No. Okay. You know what? Here's your clip. If Grant Ward is a bad guy, how is Bucky Barnes not guilty for the murder of Tony Stark's mother?
Because he was being brainwashed.
What do you mean this kid was kidnapped when he was 15 and brainwashed by Hydra for life?
He was not literally brainwashed. He was already troubled, exactly. And Bucky was actually brainwashed. He was influenced, but he was not
literally he's remorseful.
Brainwashed.
And Bucky's full of remorse.
Trigger words.
Yeah. No. See, all y'all give Bucky Barnes a pass. Everybody gives Bucky Barnes a pass.
Don't compare.
But because it was Tony Stark's mom. I bet if it was Steve Rogers' mom, y'all would be like, oh, Bucky. Look at you.
Yeah, you're just.
But it was Tony Stark's mom.
BD is gonna stir the pot with the S.H.I.E.L.D. fandom until the end of time, and I love that. But as Alice pointed out, Ward was groomed. Yeah, Ward was groomed, and that's different.
Okay, he couldn't help it though. He's the victim, so he's the victim.
No, this is like. You know what? I was gonna get into a real dark subject, and now I'm not going to.
Okay. Yeah,
just because of what you know what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. Let's move on to a little bit of history, which is the filming occurred from March 19th to March 31st. As always, crazy. And so BD, for this section of the series, the last like few episodes, they've been doing the art of level 7, and they released a special poster for each episode. So Maria's not here, so I think I can figure out how to do it myself.
Okay, let's see it.
Oh yeah, okay, here it is. Can we see it? Is it on the screen?
Wow, it's like a comic book cover.
Covered Brandon.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the last
one. Yeah,
the dog.
Yeah, there's Buddy. I like the design a lot. That's pretty. That's actually really. I like looking at this. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
do they all look like comic covers?
No, so it's a mixture. Like one of them, the Providence one is very much looks like a poster.
Cool.
Some of them are more artsy. It's different, but this was created by Emma Rios, and who said that they wanted to reflect Ward's struggle in the reflection, as if it were a mirror, and have people thinking about what may have been happening inside Ward's brain, which is what.
Okay, BD, enjoy it and eat that up. Why don't you?
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Ward's what?
I heard
reflect Ward's what?
Inspiration from the tragic life of Ward.
Thank you.
There it is.
It's tragedy.
All right.
Shakespearean variety.
Yeah, we started 5 minutes late, so I'm going to try to go for 5 more minutes before we end things. So Tony's going to leave the room real quick, but Tony, before you do, just say your goodbyes, say your business.
Oh yeah. Well, I just want to say our thank yous to Stephanie at Eclectic Muses on socials for doing our artwork. Thank you, Ryan Mira of Yellow Pills at Yellow Pills Music on Instagram for doing our music. Producer Maria isn't here with us today, but we're going to thank her anyway because she's going to have to edit some reverb at a future date. And thanks to Brandon Davis. Brandon, thanks for being here, man. It's such a fun time, even though you're wrong about things. It's really nice having you.
That's all right. So you'll see the light one day. Tony, I'll miss you. I'll be in LA all week this week, guys. We should hang out.
Oh man. Whoa. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. Let's hang out. Before
Thank you for having me, guys.
Anytime. Thank you. Before Tony goes, I want to let everyone know that next week for the season finale, we are doing our live show a little late. It's at 7 Pacific because it's Mother's Day and Tony has to deliver flowers to the mothers in the greater Los Angeles area. So I'm so sorry, especially to our UK listeners, but we got to start 2 hours late next week. But some exciting news. We decided that our summer Patreon show is going to be Firefly because Tony's never seen Firefly. So that we're going to do that this summer. And we're hoping to still have some Lido episodes, maybe some spotlight episodes with guests who can talk about the season 1 as a whole. Stay tuned. You're going to want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter to keep abreast of the situation at LidoPod. You know the drill. Follow us, leave those reviews, all that business. If you are watching along with Tony and do not want spoilers for the future, now is the time to leave. Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony. Bye, Tony.
It's so hard sometimes to not say God, you're so wrong about Ward, though. He's never going to get better.
I'm pretty sure I know he's actually a bad dude, but like watching this episode alone, I was like, wait, man, I'm team. Also, I'm just the type of person who would be like Fitz. Like in reality, I will always try to see the best in a person and give them every fucking opportunity to do the right thing way more than they might even deserve. So I think that's why I'm just looking at this episode and this show through Fitz's lens, basically, because that's the one I think I can like understand and would imagine myself in the most.
That's really nice. I like that. There was a time where I thought Ward would be redeemed, and of course, like he kind of is, but it's like a different version of him, so it does not count in my opinion.
And I know he gets killed off, like at some point, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. But yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you before we wrap things up. What do you know about the show? Like, what sticks out in your mind?
It's like if you said things, I'd be probably able to build on them. But I know that I remember the framework stuff becomes a big thing. It's like another universe, all kinds of shit. Like there's so many. It becomes such a big. I remember in like season 7, like that was the second to last season, right?
7's the final season.
Or 7's the final. Okay, so maybe it was 6. I remember there was like one big finale where they were like looking at like Earth or something and everything got destroyed. And it was like another universe. And I'm pretty sure the finale of this one ends with some reveal about Tahiti and like the truth of how Phil Coulson was like revived / not revived and brainwashed and all this shit. But it's also, it's so vague, my knowledge of this. I know like Lady Sif is going to show up down the line. That wasn't season 1, right?
No, she already showed up. She'll show up again.
Okay.
She's in one more episode. Yeah, and most of the Tahiti stuff we actually learned already. So I feel like you got to get back in here, buddy. It gets really good.
Basically, my S.H.I.E.L.D. knowledge was like back in the day when comic book was very small. I had kind of fallen off of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Jamie Lovett would do most of the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. And I always covered the Netflix stuff. Like I watched all those start to finish. So I would do interviews for that. Every once in a while, Jamie Lovett wouldn't be available to do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. interview. And I'd have to like binge and catch up and research and do all this stuff to prep for the interviews. And I'd be into it, but then I just was bad at keeping up because The Walking Dead kept me so busy. When I tell you The Walking Dead was probably like the only thing I watched at the time because I'd have to watch those episodes like 5 times every week just because we did so much. And I'm making excuses. There really is no valid one. No. I just didn't see it through, but there really wasn't a good reason. What?
Go the Tony route and watch once a week, 1 episode a week, really easy. Because
to be honest, I really think I hope I do. I'm gonna watch the finale sometime this week, and I freaking Lord knows I'm on planes enough to catch up on some stuff. But like the only reason I haven't watched Fallout yet is because they released all the episodes at once, and I'm just not gonna sit and watch all 8 episodes. And I hear the show's amazing. I liked the first episode, but I just can't do it once it's out there all at once. It's tough for me. If I don't have to watch it for work, I'm not binging it.
I totally understand. I wish Fallout had been weekly. I think it would have suited the show better, but oh well. It's funny because you're talking about who was covering S.H.I.E.L.D. 10 years ago, and I got hired before season 6, and then it just became my beat. I don't know who I stole it from, but as soon as I was working here, I was like, S.H.I.E.L.D's mine now. And so the final
it was Jamie Lovett. I don't think you've ever met Jamie Lovett. He's here in Nashville.
He's my manager, so I talk to him constantly on like Zoom, but I've never physically met him.
Right, yeah. Because he's never gone to Comic-Con. But
well, neither have I.
He's gone. What? You've been to D23 though.
Yeah. Drink.
But yeah, no, I like
right.
watching this episode. I really was into it. It also just felt like TV from 10 years ago, and I say that as a compliment. Like
Yeah.
it just felt, because streaming has really just gotten so obsessed with making quote unquote movie quality stuff. But I just feel like that has taken away from some of the charm of what it was like to watch television when it was broadcast, and it was just new every week, and they would have a tighter schedule. They would do 21 episodes in season 1, and guess what they did a year later? They turned around and made 20 something more within a year. Like, yes, the quality is not like go see this in a cinema and watch it in IMAX type thing, or watch it on Disney Plus type quality, but it was like that it's there. That's you get 21 episodes. You get to spend time with these characters. There's really interesting stories being told. And nowadays we're so obsessed with everything looking like it costs $1 zillion an episode that then they take 2 years in between or more.
That's why I think network TV is superior. A little lower quality, but more quality. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Streaming was a mistake. I am so of the. I hate streaming. I mean, it has its pros, but I am not a fan of the streaming era in general.
I 100% agree. I think it's just made everything harder in Hollywood. Things aren't getting made. It's not good for the writers, the actors. It's just, I'm hoping we're in a growing phase decade, growing pains where like eventually it will all level out, but it is rough.
It's not even good for the studios.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even good for the greedy people making it.
Mm-hmm.
They're losing money. Like, Disney Plus has yet to turn a profit.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's so crazy. It's crazy. But that is why we are living in 2014 on this podcast. So that
oh my God.
Pretend.
Just imagine waking up and it's 2014. I tweeted that about 2008 for when Iron Man's anniversary the other day. But imagine waking up in 2014, you could just be like, wow. Okay, look around.
Oh, simpler times.
Truly.
For sure.
Truly.
Well, BD, it was an honor to have you on the show. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to mention? Any other great podcasts that you host?
I host a podcast called Phase Zero. There, you might every once in a while, if you're a huge fan of this show right here, you might see a familiar face there. I don't know, like what more a lot to say, but so there, yeah, Phase Zero. We do episodes
talk
Wednesdays.
About Phase Zero on this show. We just can't talk about this show on Phase Zero.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, me and Jamie, it's been almost. Yeah, you've been there since pretty much the very beginning. Essentially.
Yeah, I was in the first episode.
Right, boom. So. And Aaron and Jenna came on really quickly after that. But yeah, we were on that first episode of WandaVision, January 21st, 2021, or January 15th, 2021. And we've been doing it since then. So we're halfway almost through season 4. That's insane. But yeah, we do that. I imagine a lot of people who have come here with you are, that they've been on Phase Zero with us. If anybody doesn't, I'm sure there's plenty of people here who don't. Come check us out. We have fun. We talk about Marvel. And also, I don't know if you're a wrestling fan. I don't have any matches booked right now, but I have started officially traveling the country as a professional wrestler. So I was just up in Chicago. I did a match with NWA. I lost, but hey, it's a learning experience. It was I made my mistakes in there. I took the L, but I learned from it, and we move on. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. And honestly, the one thing I do want to say, I have to go back to Phase Zero for this, but the Ross Marquand episode of Phase Zero that we did, Ross came, he sat right here in this very chair. We talked for an hour, and I'm really proud of that episode. I love Ross as a human being. I think he's one of the most kind individuals, which also he's incredibly talented, but I put his kindness above all else. So check that out, because I've known Ross for almost a decade now, and he's a great guy. So check, and yeah, and could please continue watching S.H.I.E.L.D. with Jamie and Tony, because God, they love this, and I know how, I think it's awesome. I think it's so fucking cool you guys do this together. I think it's so fun that you guys do a podcast together and just have something to do every week as a couple and as fans together. I think that's fucking awesome. So yeah, props to everybody who's here to support that as well.
That's so nice. Thank you. Yeah, BD, I can't wait I want you to wrestle here in LA so I can see it, because I want to watch the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get one in Pomona this summer. I'm trying to I want to get a match in Pomona.
Let's go. I'm ready. All right. Well, you heard it here. Watch the Ross interview because it really is awesome. The fact that he came to your house is like so badass. It's like really cool.
So cool. Weird.
What a cool dude.
Crazy.
Talented dude. Professor X himself. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening. Don't forget to tune in live for our season finale, May 12th at 7, not 5, 7. But if you can't make that, the episode's dropping on all major platforms on May 13th, and then we're done with season 1. We're 1 year into this 7-year journey. It's fucking crazy. And in honor of Mother's Day being our final episode, I will end this show the way BD always ends a show. Play the show for your mom, everybody. Good night.